Hello. Today is going to be this video is not going to be about Blender per se. Let's take this from here. It happens that at Google Plus, a user CVBits, I'm sorry, it posted an image from VUmeter rendered beautifully in cycles next to a VUmeter made inside Photoshop, which it looks good, but it looks like it could be vector art, not Photoshop VUmeter. So I said, well, the techniques are different. It's as his self says in his article. It's not after comparison. It is not. So I tell, well, if I would had the texture with a few ramps, gradients, and so on, I would achieve the same results using Photoshop or GIMP or Krita. In this case, I'm using Krita, but the techniques are basics, so it could be used in any other program. So he politely answered me and sent me the link to the texture, this one here, and I turned it into this lit VUmeter. So in this video we are going to see quickly how I achieve this using gradients and a few more tricks from 2D edition perspective. And that will be it. But first, a little disclaimer. I'm not going to monetize this video, so you shouldn't see any advertisement, because I don't own the texture. As I said, the texture was sent it to me by URL, so I don't know where this texture came from. This is an instructive video, informative video, and an exercise. The other thing is that my main work style, inglés no es mi lengua madre. I am a modeler, so maybe if you are a 2D artist, you will see some things that make you think, why the hell is he doing that? But well, I want to try to achieve this in the clearest way. And the third thing, you will see that I am using lots of groups, and could be a bit annoying, but I'm doing this because I'm not a 2D artist and I need to tweak a lot after I did something. So this way of working allowed me to tweak before I paint or did some change. I don't know if it was clear enough. So let's delete this and this. Wait, I can delete this. Let's leave it there. Delete. And normal. Okay. I'm going to put the number where the video starts and avoid that. Allow you to avoid that disclaimer part. So I had started with this image. Actually, it was a bit bigger, something from around here, but I cropped it out, and I have a little problem with the size, brushes and so on, that I know I'm going to explain later, because this is going to be a generic video, so we're going to make this image even smaller, not quite much. Image size. As I said, this is Krita, and this is developed version downloaded from krita.org. It's at the main page, so you can get it from there. But all the things that I'm using are completely universal for any well-developed or so developed 2D program with layers and blending based workflow. So the first thing I'm going to do is to duplicate this, okay, because I'm going to lower the whites there. Okay, I'm doing this because this is at this is without light, no? Isn't it? Also, I'm going to take some saturation out because I don't like it so saturated. Usually when you take out light, also take out saturation. This is going to be our base layer, base image. Next I'm going to do is to create the first group and a new layer inside. For this, now I'm going to do the light, the base light for this VUmeter. I don't know how to pronounce it. The first thing we need is a selection mask that there you go. The first thing we need is a selection mask. That I'm not know why am I using a selection mask, because I am going to use a radial gradient, but I'm not going to go deeper in that way. So I am now going to do a gradient. It works quite funny how gradients are made in say Krita, but again, not going to go deeper and that way. Okay, linear curved. Notice that I'm taking the white all to the right, leaving more space for the dark areas. Maybe later I explain why. So I'm going to take this. No, ¿por qué? Porque necesito. I need the gradient to be radial instead linear. Here we go. Where is the middle? Where is the middle? More or less around there. So. And now, like all lights, the group is going to work in addition. Alright? So, this is our luz de base, o luz base, or base light for our texture. Next is we are going to do a side light, light coming from the right side. So I'm going to create another group that I'm going to take out from this one, another layer, again the ramp, the gradient, sorry. Lovely. Again, the group is going to be working in addition, because we want to add light to the scene. And now we are going to do the needle. Not that. Maybe because I am recording, but it's working extremely slow. I don't know if you can see that the delay there, but okay, keep on going. No size, no change, just dark line. There you go. More or less from the middle. Okay, now erase. Let's trim this down a bit. Probably that wasn't needed, but okay. Well, this is all. Nah. There is a bit more, a few more things to do. One is start colorizing the lights. To do that, I'm going to use a filter layer, HSB. As I said, this is an alpha version of Krita, is in development. So, if I set a color and then I go into the properties to tweak it again, you will probably, well, you don't see it now, right now. I don't know why, but these values will be resetted. I don't know why. Maybe it happens when we use two filter layers that I'm going to do in a second. So I'm going to colorize this. A bit more lightness, more saturation because it is a warm light. Oh, come on! There we go. Now the second light, the side light, it's going to be blue, like the man group. And I know it's one of the worst shows that you heard, but I'm trying to think which color and trying to, well, you will understand. At least I hope you will understand. Don't try to understand. Don't try. Don't waste your time. Just try to enjoy the video. What you see here is me trying to put a filter outside the group. That's why the entire image was being colorized. I only need to colorize the light, and that it's a great reason to stop making jokes and try to focus on this picture. Less saturation, probably less lightness. There we go. Now we have two lights lighting a single texture, but I want the numbers, the textures, the numbers, these little lines, be separated from the background, because we have in the real the real thing, the real me sale aparato la palabra. In the real VUmeter we have a semi-transparent plaque, and then painted over it the numbers and lines. So I'm going to duplicate my base layer, put it over the yellowish light but under the side light, because this light is affecting all the object, and set this picture to multiply. Why multiply? Because if you see, it's all black and the entire black areas are going to be ignored. These areas are not going to multiply by anything, and the dark areas, well, this will remain black. So we get this. Now we are going to get in closer. Okay, what more do we need? What more do we need? Okay, we need a shadow for this. So I'm going to duplicate it, move it the one below a bit, filter blur, Gaussian blur, and that would be nice. But this layer, this shadow layer, we are going to use it in overlay. Why overlay? Because it reacts a bit differently from, maybe a bit down, there you go, a bit different from add, addition, and from multiply. You can imagine this in a simple way. Addition adds anything that is not black. Multiply removes or adds everything with each is not bright, so all the black colors are going to be impressed in the layers below. This is a way of saying it. It's not the pro way. But overlay, it's something between the two of, and between both of them. Overlay tends to ignore highlights, lowlights, and to work with medium lights, medium value colors. And that is the way I use it. But in this case, as you can see, it works completely different from the add and multiply. But remember that this needle is completely black. If I turned out the blackness, you can see that we get a beautiful shadow that blends into the bright areas. Also blends inside the dark areas, but you can see it here because this is a solid black, not a gradient. Okay, what else do we need? Maybe we need a shadow from the side, that it was in that original render from Cycles, which again, it looks beautifully lit. I'm going to maybe this one. In this case, because it is the side of this VUmeter, it is going to be a linear gradient, not a radial one. Then multiply. There we go. It's hard to think. Oh, come on! I said reverse, no. There we go. And that just would do. Why it's... I hate when these things do this. As you can see, this is not a full white, so I need to take levels, crop it. Now it's a full white. That's why I was getting all the entire image shadowish a bit. Okay, it's not the most beautiful shadow, but it is there. So more or less, this is the tweak with the VUmeter. Let's go into curve. One more to add more saturation, a bit more saturation over there, and more or less here we have it. To the image that I showed you before, I had added another layer of dust over it, but I'm not going to do it with this because okay, I don't want to do this video longer. So this is the technique. A few things in add, another in multiply, and using gradient for the light. So this video should end here. Now I'm going to explain a few things about the light. You can cut it if you will know how the light works. And thanks for watching. For the ones who keep looking this video, okay, one thing about the light we must know is that the light I need a new layer. There we go. Light is not a linear value. You can see that, well, in this case it's a bit gray, but the mid-tones between this gray and this black is near to the source, because light, it has an inverse square ratio of power loss. So this means that next to the source is going to be more light than far away from the source. The other thing that you have to keep in mind is when you use gradients to mimic light, you have to remember that you can have an entire source emitting light, or you can have a little a little lamp emitting light, which is going to give you a totally different way of dispersing the light. So you can see this gradient here. It's emitting light all similar from top to bottom. But if this would be a point light, like in Blender, alright, the gradient should be radial, because light is emitting from that point all over all directions. As you can see here, the gradient is totally different, because you have your strongest point in the middle and less powerful on the sides. That's why vector art and linear gradients not always work, because it would look fake, because light doesn't work in that way. That's why when I created my gradient, I didn't left it like it comes for default, but I took the middle point right to the white one. This is not mathematically correct, probably, but more or less it's like you would see it. Alright, also turn into curved, because I wanted a smooth interpolation among them. Now this second part of this 2D video will end, but by the way, thank you for thank you for being there all this long. But I'm going to do a little tweak to the exercise, and this is trying to do this inside Blender. You won't see this one, isn't it? Okay, now let me here. I took the image into Blender. What am I going to try to do is to use, come on, little window, it's to use the Blender internal stack of layers to mimic the same stack of layers that I have here. That I'm not sure if this is going to work. So let's begin and try it out. To do bit more fair comparison. Okay, I have a plane. Now I'm going to start to work a bit faster because this video is quite long and it's going to last a few hours to upload. My speed upload now is not the best. That's one of the reasons because I don't do videos often, because it's a quite annoying wait for the video to upload. So what I'm going to do is to set my viewport to texture, but I need to be in GLSL mode, only render, or maybe not only render, but I would take the grid. What? Okay, I will not take the grid from the main view. Back report coming. I turn the shade, the shader into shadeless because I want to do this at the best 2D style. So I'm going to put my image, texture, image from file. Okay, I have this. Now I'm going to set my diffuse color into black because I want this affect less the diffuse. Now I'm going to create the first light layer, but if you notice, in Krita GIMP Photoshop, the layers are stacked from top to bottom and read it in this direction. So, it's like you have your little camera there, and you will see in that direction. In Blender is totally the opposite. Blender internal, at least, you read the layers the layers are stacked from top to bottom and are read from below. I don't know why this is in the way this was done in this way. Even modifiers do this, but this is the Blender style. So we're going to create the light. To this we're going to do a light base material, and now we're going to paint it. So we're going to texture paint, layers, light base. We're going to I can't believe that I am going to do this with Blender. Now let's set this to addition. And this it will be around there. I can't believe that I'm doing this in set Blender, but okay. Man, just going to smooth this a bit. I am using a version that is crashing. I am using a development version of Blender which has merged into the trunk the Paint Google Summer of Code 2013. That's why I have all these features, and I'm using an extremely brick brush for the Gaussian smooth. So this may think that it crashed, but it is not. So I will wait here, and if this takes too long, I'm going to cut the video. Don't crash. No. Don't. Tete. No me hagas esto. Volvió. Well, the idea was that I had it was to try to smooth that banding, but I'm not going to do this longer. Okay, now what do I need? I need the second one, the second light, the right light. Okay, layers, I choose, come on, there you go. Right light into addition. There we go. Now I'm going to duplicate this one, copy, paste, but I need to do that one and probably this one too. Unique because the the change that I'm doing here, it's going to be copied to the original text. That's because Blender uses the data block system, instance from one other, yada yada yada. This is an out of this is an exercise. I'm not sure if this is going to work the way I want. Okay, take this. Yes, RGB to intensity. More or less is working. I'm not going to spoil anything. Don't want to say anything about it. It is working. I'm not sure how, but okay. I'm painting a bit more of light. Say this one texture, maybe not, maybe this one. This one. And the last thing we need is the little needle. I recommend you to see the one that CV Bits did. Maybe I add a link to his picture. I need to ask him first to permission, because the one he did in Cycles looks beautiful, but I can't believe this one. But well, you can see that it can be painted also inside Blender inside, more or less. Is not the same, but it can be done. Maybe I need the shadow. I think if I can do so, I'm going to create a new material for that one. The needle is going to be black, which we don't need color because it's in GLSL without any light, but let's do it black anyways. I'm going to create another material, but in this case I need to be a bit more probably because of this. What I'm touching here is the clipping alpha option, and it's an option that, as the name says, it clips the alpha from transparent things. No. Probably if I would using a texture that would work. But I'm not sure. I am not used to do this. This is, as I said, an exercise, and also I am not used to work in this way. This is a totally experimental thing for me. As you can see, we only had a plane and 2 sticks, and if I active GLSL and select that little needle that I'm going to collapse there, already selected, we have a VUmeter painted inside Blender. Okay. The last piece of advice that I'm going to give you is, if you try, I mean you, not because I'm going to paste this CV comment. I'm not talking specifically to you. I'm talking to you in general, to anyone who sees the video on YouTube. If you, in general, want to do anything like this, remember that any texture that you paint have to be saved independently. If I close the software, the Blender internal, and I only do save as or save selected or save, I will be saving the file, displaying the needles, but I will not save the textures. So the textures need to be saved before, each one independently, before you close your Blender, the Blender software, because right now all these textures are only at the temporal memory. So once I close the software, these textures will be erased, and I have to do all over again. So this video was a bit longer than I expected. I hope that not so long, and I hope that this video would be useful to every one of you in some way, and I will try to do a bit more, especially about the new paint features inside Blender, probably the next week. And I need to study a bit because I didn't see this one. This is one new for me. So I hope you like it, and this is all for tonight. Thank you. Hasta la próxima.